get to the last week of October. Weekly preview here. Big week ahead. AK-47 Prime Trading Investments now over with Trade the Pool. Big week last week at the Money Show in Orlando. Great time with those guys, and of course to be finally a part of a great family there. These guys are great. If you're looking for a prop firm, some extra capital, less risk, go over to Trade the Pool, tradethepool.com. Check them out. Now this next coming week, the 27th to the 31st, last week of October, we not only have Wednesday Microsoft, Google, Meta reporting. On Thursday we have Apple and Amazon reporting. That's just some of the big names next week. And then on top of the fact, we also have retail inventories released next week on Thursday. Initial jobless claims on Wednesday, I should say. On Thursday, jobless claims. Friday, we have the personal income, consumer spending, PCE index, the core PCE index. Boy, next week we're going to have some movement, let alone the fact that the SPY just ripped up to all-time highs here on Friday. So a quick little glance at the weekly preview here. Coming back on down, I would go ahead and imagine the old all-time high here at 674. Somewhere in this area is going to hold as your normal low of the week. Ultimate low of the week is going to come back down to this old resistance support line. So you can see here from before, we're actually bouncing, doing a really good job when we come above this old little small resistance channel that we were in and broke out of. And so every time we come out of it, we at least bounce on it once, if not twice. So I would imagine that would be my ultimate low of the week, is coming back down and actually bouncing on that once. Low of the week right here, 673, 674. Ultimate down here around 665. Now again, should be a big week because of, you just heard what I talked about. Data releases, the earnings report next week. It could go lower. You would think it would if it is. I just think it's going up, if anything. My feeling would be we go up more versus down. So the top side move, your normal high of the week, would be somewhere right around the 685 mark, with your ultimate high of the week getting close to 690. Yes, moving ever so closely to you know what, that's 700. Now next week, going back to this as well, like I talked about, Apple's earnings is on Thursday, so is Amazon. Look at Apple here, looking to really surge and go to where? Well, more all-time high area in my opinion. So normal high of the week would be a move to 270, ultimate high of the week with earnings. Watch for at least a 5 to 10% move throughout the week with earnings. I would say a move up to 275 to 278.75 rule is on lock, if not up to 280. So I will go actually, say we get somehow caught in this channel before earnings comes out on Thursday, and say 270 normal high, 278.75 to 280 ultimate high. Could get a tad higher. And again, working its way to where? 300. On the way down, this old resistance, new support, will be normal low of the week. So last week's low, I'll go with that as your normal low of the week, 255. And if for some reason we do have negative pull back next week, watch for move back down to say around the 250 mark. Could see ultimately to 245. Now we'll do Amazon real quick, because again, another play, really in my opinion, stuck out in the channel to the right. So I'm not a big fan of it, but with earnings coming up, I say 240 to 242 would be your ultimate high of the week, with around 235 being normal. Normal low of the week, somewhere right around, I'll go right here around 215, with the ultimate down around 210. Of course, AMD this week, big week as well. I think its earnings was, if I'm not mistaken, I forgot when AMD's earnings is, but I want to bring this up because this play is moving to all-time high. Already at all-time high. Normal low of the week at 242.35. Ultimate low of the week comes back down to 225. Normal high of the week goes up to 270. That's right, you heard it here first. Ultimate high of the week goes up to 280. 270 normal, 280 ultimate. Normal low 242, ultimate low 225. Keep rolling through these levels right here. Google, another one looking to go to all-time high. I'm going to go 270 normal high of the week, 275 ultimate high of the week. That does report earnings on Wednesday. Could even see a push up to 280. On the way down, I'm going to go somewhere right around 250 normal low of the week, 240 ultimate low of the week. Working our way back through here. I don't think we have Meta this week, right? Meta's not this week. No, not this week if I'm not mistaken. And I'm not a big fan of Meta. Now, one to keep your eye on. I know usually its earnings is later in the path of all the earnings data. Watch for NVDA maybe to move up with the tech companies and the data releases this coming week, with a move up to around this 195 mark. Normal high of the week, 190. Ultimate high, 195. On the way back on down, somewhere right around 182. Normal low of the week, 176. Ultimate low of the week. PLTR, another one looking to squeeze and go to new all-time high. Over this 190 mark for PLTR, if I'm not mistaken, yes, that would push it to new all-time high territory. I'm going to go 190, normal high of the week, 200, ultimate high of the week. Down below 170, normal low of the week, this 162, 161 area, ultimate low of the week. Q's, another one pushing to new all-time highs this week. 625, normal high of the week. 630, ultimate high of the week. Honestly, in the end, this weekend, as much as we moved here recently, this play could even see higher than 630, but I'll stick with that. 625 normal, 630 ultimate. Don't be surprised if we see somewhere higher than 630 though. Not 650 quite yet. On the way down, this old plateau is going to be your normal low of the week, 612.50. Ultimate low of the week goes back down to around 600. And lastly here, Tesla, not a big fan of it this week. It really is trapped in this channel, and I think it stays this week. Stays that way with 450 being normal high of the week. But if it does get going, watch for another squeeze like we had here back up to that 480 area. Oh, Meta, that's right. Meta's is on. Meta's my bad. Meta's is on Wednesday. So Meta is on Wednesday here. So Meta, in my opinion, we haven't seen big movement on earnings here this time around. In my, at least Tesla was last week. Tesla didn't really get a good pop. I would say probably we see no more than 760 normal and somewhere back in the 790s for an ultimate move. On the way down, the 700 to 690 normal low of the week in case we do get a huge pullback. Watch for move down to around 680 or so. There's your big movers for the week right there. So keep an eye on those. Again, I think movement could be stale a little bit on Monday and Tuesday from the large cap plays. From Monday and Tuesday, not a lot of releases, not a lot of data, not a lot of earnings for the most part. I think it really starts to amp and ramp up Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, where we get to see some really big moves. So there are your levels for the week. Small cap plays usually starting to die down. They had the huge fun already from literally throughout summer, all through September into October. We finally have slowed down this past week. We're finally getting slower and slower and slower and slower and slower to where we're not really getting the spikes we were. I would imagine that heads through the end of this week into Halloween, into the first week of November as we roll through these earnings reports, and a lot of traders and people are going to be looking at really what we see here most time around this October-ish earnings reports. Small caps die down for just a second, get a little spooky, eerie, slow, but ramp and amp back on up, getting closer to Thanksgiving and Black Friday. See you next week. There's your weekly preview. It's going to be a fun week in the large caps. Get ready.